So before I do the story time, I want you to watch this video on this page. I will tag them in the comments. I couldn't stitch the video because they had a sound over it. So every time I stitched it, the sound played over my voice. However, I will tag them in the comments so you guys can watch that video first so you can get context for this story time. But it's pretty much your younger self seeing your future self and your future self seeing your younger self in real life. Okay, so story time. It's the early 2000s. We just moved into this new neighborhood and we were the only black people in the neighborhood. That's not really important, but I just want y'all to know. And in this neighborhood, have you ever been in like one of those old people neighborhoods where it's like there's no kids at all and it's just like old retired people? That's what the neighborhood was at that point. So it's like around 2000, 2003. And I've said this before, but I was never an outdoor kid. I was always the kid who wanted to be around my aunties, always around grown folk. I wasn't the rowdy type of let's get dirty, let's have fun, street fights and stuff like my cousins. A bitch had an old soul pretty much. So for my birthday that year, since we moved and there was no kids here, my mom bought me a bike because she was like, you could stay active and it's just good to explore the neighborhood. So I was like, okay, so there would be times I would be outside, just riding around the neighborhood for hours by myself. Because literally, it was kind of like a Goosebumps neighborhood where you go into a neighborhood and there's just no kids. When I tell y'all there was no kids, none that would even walk into the neighborhood. It was hella eerie. But I digress. So one day I'm riding my bike and I'm going through the neighborhood and I get tired and I'm like, I'm gonna come home. And remember, my house is on the corner. So the way the neighborhood's set up, our house is kind of like at the crossroads. I know. So after I get tired, I'm like, I'm done with riding my bike for the day. I'm coming up on the corner of my house. As I'm getting dizzy and I start to get tunnel vision, which is unusual for me because it's never happened before, I stop on the corner of my house. And that is kind of like directly like, this is the crossroad, right? I was like right here. And I look down the street of my house and I'm still getting dizzy, tunnel vision, all that stuff. I see a grown black man walking towards me, but it wasn't just like some random stranger. You know when it's you because I just knew it was me. There's something about just your spirit discernment. You know when you know. I'm gonna just put it like that. I'm not gonna explain. And I saw myself walking towards me. And I say me by like, 7 or 8 year old me who was on the bike looking down the street, like seeing grown version of me walking towards me. So I come in the house and that terrifies me from riding my bike. And I mean terrified by like, not like, oh, I just didn't go out for the rest of the week. I stopped riding my bike for over like 6 to 7 months. And of course my mom noticed and she asked me, she was like, well, what's going on? Cause it's more than just you saying, oh, I don't feel like riding my bike anymore. And I told her, and that's when she sat me down and like had like the psychics running our family and shit like that. But even low-key, she didn't have an explanation for seeing your future self walking down the street while your younger self is viewing it. So now we're gonna fast forward, I wanna say 10 to 14 years.